Y'all, such a beautiful, beautiful morning. God, I thank you. I get to wake up every morning to this. Love it, y'all. Love it, love it, love it.
Live interview since announcing his retirement at 29 years old. Well, he gave an emotional press conference Tuesday. We're going to speak with Gronk live in just a moment, but first, here's Paula Ferris with more. Good morning, Paula.
Good morning to you, everyone. Good morning. Gronkowski says that football was bringing him down. Just 29 when he retired. That's the same age as Andrew Luck, the former #1 pick from the Indianapolis Colts, who this week unexpectedly hung up his cleats as well.
I needed to walk away because I needed to do what was best for myself at that moment.
This morning, Patriots star Rob Gronkowski, raw and emotional, opening up for the first time about the moment he knew he had to step away from football.
I needed to recover. I was not in a good place. Football was bringing me down, and I didn't like it. And I was losing that joy in life, like the joy.
He says
My
it
God.
happened during one of the biggest games in his career, the Super Bowl, just last February.
In the Super Bowl, about a couple minutes into the second quarter, I caught a pass on the left side, cut over, the linebacker took me right out, right here in my quad. I flipped in the air, and I knew my quad was done. I knew it was right there and then. I was like, last game, Super Bowl game, just give it all you have.
Then, just 29 years old, he knew he had to walk away, announcing his retirement in March.
I could barely walk. I slept for 5 minutes that night. I was in tears in my bed after a Super Bowl victory.
It's a sentiment that 29-year-old Indianapolis Colts quarterback Andrew Luck shares this weekend, making shockwaves, announcing he too was walking away from his $140 million contract, saying that years of battling injuries had taken a physical and mental toll.
I felt stuck in it, and the only way I see out is to no longer play football. It's taken my joy of this game away. The only way for me is to remove myself from football.
And Luck said that he was losing his joy in life as well. Colts owner Jim Irsay estimated over the weekend that Luck could potentially be giving up as much as $450 million in future salary. But Michael, this is all going to create an open dialogue as to how grueling the sport of football can be. And I see you over there. Everybody's waiting for you to talk to the man of the hour. So I'll send things over to you, Michael.
Oh, yeah, Paula. The man, the myth, the legend, Gronk is joining us now. Rob Gronkowski, thank you for joining us, man.
Yes, no problem.
You made headlines when you announced your retirement.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Tanya Lady T. Look, y'all, I want to jump on right quick while I'm getting ready for work and talk about the clip that I just put before this. I want to talk about these two young men that retired from the NFL early in their careers, 29-year-old. That was powerful. I didn't want to record the whole thing because, you know, I didn't want YouTube to copyright me. But for the purposes of discussing what they did, and I admonish you to Google and watch the rest of the interview concerning this young man's decision to retire early from the NFL. And where I want to come from is the angle of counting up the cost. This young man counted the cost. He counted up the cost. Man, let me tell you something. That interview was so powerful. Like I said, you need to go watch the whole interview because I'm going to be taking what I listened and learned from watching the interview and pretty much just do a paraphrase because y'all know I have to put my Lady T style to it. But y'all, let me tell you something. In life, and that's why I said when we're studying the Word with our Bible study lives and stuff, you know, and you're reading and you're thinking that stuff ain't applicable to you because you ain't no herdsman and you ain't no cattle person. No, you better look and listen and learn because that kind of stuff can be applicable in your life and how it can be helpful and beneficial to you on the daily. But anyway, so as I was listening to the young man, because like I said, it's been in the news for a while about him retiring and people are not quite understanding because he's at his prime and one of the best players for the Patriots, and he helped them get to the Super Bowl and scored some awesome touchdowns and all that good stuff. But as I listened to the young man and as I understood what he was saying, I said, my God, that happens to us in our life. Now, he's talking about a physical one, but that kind of stuff happens in our life where we have to look at a situation that's going on in our life and we have to count up the cost. We absolutely have to count the cost up. And so as I listened and he said, you know, I've played and, you know, you have that excitement when you run through the football tunnel and you run out on the field and the crowds are, the crowds are going nuts and, you know, pandemonium, mayhem is taking place because they're excited to see their favorite football player or whoever getting ready to perform and do what they do. So he's been there. He said, I know what I signed up for. I know what it entails to be a football player, how you have to condition your body and this and that and the other. Like I said, he went on to talk about those things. He said, so he was not, you know, dumb to the fact of what he had signed up for. But he said he began to play as he normally plays. And he said it was, and he's been hit many times. But he said it wasn't until he got hit Super Bowl game, this past Super Bowl in February. And I forgot the name of the muscle he said, but anyway, he knew that when he got hit, that was it. He said he knew that particular hit, he had been hit many times before, but that particular hit said, oh, he said, I knew it then. Because see, it was a leading up to. He knew that this was going to be it. He knew he had to make a decision. And let me tell you something. He said now, he felt good as a team member and a football player that he helped his team. You know, he didn't want to let his team down. You do what you do for the team. As they say, take it for the team. Take one for the team. Take it for the team. So he did what he needed to do. But he said, oh, baby, let me tell you. He said that when he got home, good God Almighty, he said it was painful just to walk. He said, I found myself in tears just trying to walk. I said, my God. So, you know me, my imagination, I said, my God. I said, so if he tried to get up, just go get a cup of water, tears were coming and streaming because of the pain. Again, counting up the cost. So a lot of times, you know, we might look because people say, oh, my God, he's crazy. And then there was another football player here recently, I think this week or last week, that made an announcement that he also is retiring because his joy was gone. He had no joy for life, and he had to sit in the pocket of that pain every day, every week. And I said, my God, isn't that something? So he counted up the cost that we might be standing here cheering and we might be doing this and that for our families and for people and all that we're doing. But then we have to go home and deal with it. In other words, in life, you might be saying yes to a lot of people. You're stretching yourself thin. You're burning your life on both ends of the candle. And you're saying yes because you don't want to be a letdown to your family. You don't want to be a letdown to people and this and that and the other. And you continue to say yes. But then you're the one who have to go home and count up the cost. Because your yeses is causing pain. You continuing to do certain things is causing you anguish. You continuing to always being the hero is causing you distraught in your life. And so now you're at a place in your life and you don't have vigor, zeal, in the operative word, what he said, I lost my joy for life. And if we're not careful, again, even though he's talking about a physical one, he's the one that had to go through the different doctor's appointments. He's the one that had to sit in those ice cold baths just for his body to function so he can have peace. And I went a little bit further in my mind. I said, you imagine, people, say, oh my God, he has the potential to earn $450 million in future earnings. But baby, if I got to spend 300 mil of it just to get to the doctor to heal and this treatment and this pill. And see, there's the other aspect. He didn't speak on it, but I'm saying because I know it to be true. There's another aspect. Some of these athletes or anything that you're doing and you're physically having to use your body. And again, anything in life. If you get too overwhelmed in life, you'll get depressed. You'll be stressed out. Next thing you know, you're at the doctor's office being prescribed different medications. And guess what? Some of those medications, they will cause you to become addicted to them. So you think about that. So it ain't just about being on the field. It's all that stuff that you have to step away and you've had to count up the cost. And I applaud these young men that they counted up the cost. They're 29 years old and they're talking about all these different ailments and everything that they're having to deal with and face medically, all the different things going on in there. But they said, wait, hold on. 29 and I'm got all this going on. I got to count up the cost and let some things go. You know, I was asked a question this week. I don't want to get all into my personal business, but I was asked a question this week. I was mentoring. And the question was asked, encouraging, if you will. How do you know when to let something go? And my response was, when you've had enough. When you've had enough, that's when you got to let it go. You've counted up the cost. You've spun around, you've sat, you've kicked, you've moaned. When you've had enough. So I thought about these young men, I thought they had enough. They were tired of feeling this type of pain. They were tired of not being able to enjoy the fruit of their labor because most of the time they were busy trying to heal. And then it's back at it again. So he was asked also, well, how did you tell your teammates? How did you prepare yourself? He said, you know what? I had a made up mind. He said, I told a few people higher up in the organization because they gave me the opportunity. Again, now this man is retiring in his prime. And he retired on his own terms. He said, I didn't want to have to go through no negotiation. He said, I was done. I had a made up mind. See what we were talking about? Sometimes when you have a made up mind and you make a decision and you are laser focused on that decision, nobody can talk you out of what you've decided to do because you've established some things. This young man had some things established because he said, like I said, later on in the interview, he said, no, I didn't talk to my teammates and all that kind of stuff. He said, I talked to a couple of people that, you know, that I needed to just thank for giving me the opportunity. He said, but I didn't want to negotiate. I didn't want to do anything. He said, I just did it, got it done. Didn't put no more thought into it. He had a made up mind. He had counted up the cost. And let me admonish y'all, let me just tell y'all, in life, there are going to be some things that you're going to have to count up the cost. And you're going to have to stand flat-footed. And whether it shocks people, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's doing that. Oh my God, I can't believe she's doing that. Baby, there are some things in life you got to count up the cost. Because like I said, you're the one who has to sit in those yeses and deal with the anguish. Deal with the joy of your life being taken. There's a song, let me tell you. It's by a women choir. And it says, I got my joy back. I got a new lease on life. And in that song, it talks about having your joy back. And you got a new lease on life. And like I said, as he went further down in the conversation, he talked about how he's got his joy back. He's got a joy back for life because he made a decision. He made a decision that I need my body to heal. And in order for my body to heal, I've got to step away from all of this. I've got to say no to some things. And so my body can take on its natural healing and doing things to reverse some things that are going on in my body. And he said, and I recognize that this decision I made is going to set me up for the next phase of my life. God Almighty, I thank you. So that's what I'm saying. Anything that we're going through, let me tell you something. Anything that you're going through and you've lost your joy, your zeal, and you know you've got to let some things go. You got to count up the cost. You got to count up the cost. Man, this is costing me. And I don't know about his personal life. As a man, maybe he's not able to do things with his wife or whoever because his body is racking with pain. And sometimes in our life, we do so much. We burn stuff on both ends. And sometimes it's necessary. It's uncomfortable. But then you've made it your way of life. And now you're at a place where you're depressed. And he talked about that. You know, you get to a point where you're depressed because all you know is pain. Good God Almighty. And God does not want us to be in that type of bondage where all we experience is pain. The joy of the Lord is your strength. And so just remember that when you're going through something and you find yourself just going, and everybody is getting the benefits and the accolades and you're sitting over here heavy laden. The word tells us, come to me, all of you who are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. This man decided, I need rest. And he says that my body needs rest. So again, there are going to be some things in life we're going to have to walk away from so that we can heal. There are going to be some things in life that we're going to have to say no to because we've counted the cost. And again, like I said, the question that was asked me, how do you know when to let go? And the question is, and the answer is, when you had enough. You've counted up the cost. You recognize there's some things in your life that you need to make a decision on. They're hard decisions. I'm sure that young man counted up the cost and said, man, I'm in my prime. I'm 29. I'm young. But wisdom kicked in and he said, my God, I don't want to leave doing one of the most lovable things I love to do, and that's playing football. And he said that was one of the most wonderful things he loved to do. Played for a good organization. And there's some things in your life. There are some things that you love to do. There's some things that you feel you were joyful about in the beginning, but a shift took place, a change, and you had to count up the cost. And that's what we have to do in our lives. We've got to count up the cost and be willing to walk away so that you can get your joy back, so that you can be healed. And that's the thing about healing. You have to step away. You have to diminish those things that got you where you are, the state that you're in. And you got to allow yourself to heal. Time. God uses the servant of time to heal things. Whether that getting out of a bad relationship, walking away from a job, because you're believing God for whatever. Count up the cost. And after you have rendered yourself worthy and you render yourself more valuable than that game, more valuable than that person, whatever the case may be, count up the cost. And when you recognize it's time to let go because you've had enough. So anyway, I just wanted to come on. That was very powerful to me. I feel like, we all can take a lesson from that. Young man making that decision for his life. Because guess what? Like I said, when you get home and you have to deal with all that you trying to help somebody, you done ran all over town, and you might have got a ticket, just trying to, a speeding ticket or whatever, just trying to help somebody. And so again, counting up the cost. Sometimes we have to remove chaos from our life in order to see clearly. So anyway, y'all be encouraged. Let me go get dressed. Sometime when I get deep, y'all, I can't put my makeup on. But anyway, let me go. I love y'all so much. And again, be encouraged. Be encouraged. Sometimes you have to say yes to yourself. Amen. Anyway, love ya. God bless. And may the peace of the Lord be with you. Y'all have an awesome Wednesday. And we got what? 2 more days to get it done. Then we'll be back at the weekend. We got a long Labor Day weekend coming up. All right, y'all. Bye. Love you.